Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Passion Talk with Kanchan Sonik Season 2. This is our second episode, and we are here with a tagline on women in leadership. This entire episode will talk about how women and leadership have come into a collaboration, and such leaders will speak their life stories to you, where we will understand how has been their journey and how important is to learn and to lead being a woman. Today, I'm honored and blessed to have DTM Sapna Ohri, who has been a mentor, a friend, a support system, and a person I can always look up to whenever I was missed in any journey of life in the last 7 to 8 years. More than anybody else, I think I would have troubled Sapna on any odd hours, calling her and asking for help when I felt lost. So I'm delighted and honored to help you here with such a wonderful learning lady who has learned her way and led it from start. When you talk about her journey, let me just let you know Distinguished Toastmaster is just one title, but she is an inspiring leader, an entrepreneur, a management consultant, and a social advocate who has spent 18 long years in transforming organizations and individuals alike. A certified payroll professional, a management consultant, Sapna specializes in payroll, workforce management, and human resource transformation, helping clients solve complex challenges in people, process, and technology. Her strategic insights and solutions have empowered businesses to drive efficiency and achieve sustainable growth. Sapna is also the founder of the Champion of the Dog Shield, a compassionate initiative dedicated to rescuing and providing medical care and food for the indie dogs. Her leadership in this space reflects a deep commitment to creating a positive impact in community towards animals. And I see such posts and I feel so empowered looking at how much we have changed Sapna in the journey of, helping the ones who can't speak for their own self. In addition to her extensive consulting career, Sapna is passionate entrepreneur. Through her involvement in Kangan, she has helped countless individuals seize opportunities towards better health and to fulfill their dreams of financial independence, offering them tools to support and transform their lives. As a Toastmaster for over 13 years, Sapna's leadership have left a legacy. She served as first district director of the Reformed District 98, where she had led more than 3,000 members, including me, and a dedicated team of 50 leaders to achieve select distinguished status in 2022 and 2023. As the first Women Club Growth Director of District 98, she helped launch more than 60 clubs. And 60 clubs, every club has 20 individuals, so around 120 new members every time. She also earned the Excellence in Club Growth Director Award from Toastmasters International in 2020 and 2021. Her journey exemplifies the power of leadership, mentorship, and service. She's not only a leader, she's a mentor, a passionate trainer, and a coach. She has guided countless leaders, helping them unlock their potential and reach new heights in their personal and professional journey. Please, with the roundest applaud and the loudest applaud I can, let's welcome Sapna to Passion Talks with Kanchan Sonik. Welcome, Sapna. Good evening, and let's have this
Thank
talk
you.
show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Most welcome. Sapna, now let's go deeper and look at the past, which we learned and came through to the present. How was Sapna as a child?
I was the youngest child in my family, and
Mm-hmm.
I think my mother always tells me that I was born. There's a huge age gap between me and my sister, which was 8 years back then. And my mom always tells that probably they never wanted a second child, and I just happened to, arrive into the world because I had maybe make a mark. And so what happens is that generally in an Indian household, when everybody wants a boy, the first was a girl, and then the second one also was a girl. My mother did not want to pick me up at all. She was somewhat disappointed it was not a boy. Then my grandfather picked me up and he took me to my mom and he told that, look at her, she looks like cotton. And that's when I think when my mom looked at me, she simply says she fell in love. And then when I was growing up, We both were sisters. Both of us were divided into between the parents. So my elder sister was more closer to my dad. I was more closer to my mother. I grew up in a in a small town, which is Udhampur, Jammu Kashmir. Not many people know about it. I studied in Army Public School. I was a shy kid. I wouldn't say very shy, but I was a shy kid. I think during my when I was in first or second, I used to get a lot of complaints. My parents used to get a lot of complaints that I used to talk a lot in the class. And then I don't know what happened during my growing years, probably until sixth, seventh, or eighth. I started talking less because I was not doing well in mathematics at all. And then ninth and tenth, when you start growing up, 11th and 12th were the best days. I had amazing friends. I had amazing classmates, and it was. I think those were the best 2 years of my entire school life that I can sum it up, wherein I learned to be friends with people. I also got my first opportunity to be into a leadership role, being a house vice captain and then being a school vice captain, and showing off a little bit of my English speaking skills in front of my classmates. But those were long, lifelong friendships, which we cherish till date. And I'm still in touch with my friends, few of them, and that's how my childhood has been, in a serene place and within mountains, everything fresh around. um Life was just simple and it was beautiful at the same time. And I was just a kid, no technology, nothing, and just playing around with friends. I think, yeah, that was the beautiful childhood that I had.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Now we know why do you look like an apple, because you were born born in a place where you could just fit in like a cherry apple. Yes.
Yeah.
Great. How important are good friends when you grow up, Sapna? What do you
Very
say?
important, very important. You always need people whom you can talk to. See, growing back then or a few years ago, you would agree that nobody knew about mental health, nobody knew about depression. We just knew one thing, that we will always go and pour our hearts out to our friends, no matter what we did. Friends were the first confidant that we had always. So be it any big mischief that you wanted to do, be it bunking your classes or your first crush, your first heartbreak, your friends are always there during the entire journey. Someone who can always vouch for you, or support you when you want to go out and you want to lie to your parents. I think I've so I've been fortunate that ways, that I've had amazing set of friends during all uh, my different years of, be it in my school, college, even when I started working, I moved places here and there. I've been very fortunate to have some amazing set of friends who are still with me. They just know me the way I am, and it's just beautiful. And I think it's really important for us you know to have friends whom you can rely on.
Wow, great. Now, today's generation, I don't know, but when we were growing up, hobbies were something that kept us occupied. So, what was your hobby, and why hobbies are so important in life to shape you to the leader you become?
I used to love reading a lot. So this was one habit which was inculcated by my grandparents. So whenever we used to visit them during our holidays, they used to have a huge pile of champaks and chanda mamas and all, so that I could read. And from there is what loved, started reading a lot of fiction. And that's what it helped me also when I was growing, that till date I love fiction. So I mean, you give me a novel and I can probably, if I'm too engrossed in it, I'll finish it off in a day. And that was one. And the second one was coloring. I really used to love to color or sketch at times. When I was young, I used to take a pencil and just start sketching on my art book. I still remember when Sushmita Sen became Miss Universe. There was one entire Femina magazine that had come out with all her pictures and all, and I remember going and creating those, with a pencil, those sketches of hers. Those were like beautiful, really beautiful. And now I have my adult coloring book. So whenever I'm stressed out a bit, I would just take it out and I want to just sit and color for the next 3, 4, 5 hours. And then when it's done, it's just amazing. I love doing that. And then I think now that I'm an adult, Toastmasters is a hobby which is converted into a passion, though, because it gives me an opportunity to meet new people, to talk to people, to learn about their experiences, to share my own life stories with them. So I think it's more important because then you take a break from your regular monotonous life. It gives you the chance to step away, take that breather, and then get back into your regular stuff again, rejuvenated. So it's really important to have one.
Thank you so much. And now I know where does that creativity comes in, because that is deep rooted. Talking about college, and what course did you take, and how were your friends, and how did it help you to transition from school to college? What was that, and what was the journey then?
I think the only subject that I was good in was English. So when my 12th results came, because I had commerce, my dad just told me that, you know what, you're just good in English, so why don't you do something in English? So at that point of time, I was also transitioning from Udhampur to my hometown, which was Amritsar. And we have a very good university, which is Guru Nanak Dev University there. And they had this BA English honors program. And my dad said, just go ahead and prepare for it, give an entrance, and just, just get into it because this is something that you'll excel at. Needless, I didn't know that grammar will be another pain point for me, just like mathematics. But I gave my entrance. I got through. So I did my BA English honors and then I did my master's in English language and literature. I always wanted to be a lecturer, a teacher, but and do my PhD, do my doctorate. But I think life had other plans. So that is still there in the pipeline. I don't know when I will reach there.
You're never late for that. Don't worry. I'm doing
Yeah.
mine,
I
so
mean,
you.
yes, the moment I got to know about it, I was like, if she can do it, dude, this is something that I have to do no matter what happens. So yeah, that was something that I wanted to do. But yeah, what I'm doing today is completely opposite of what I want, what I have learned.
Okay. So your English comes from the expertise you bring from your college, and BA, and then masters, and then what happened? How did you transition to the corporate world?
A very unfortunate incident happened. So 2005, after June, when I completed all my masters and all, I got into a job. I got a job in Amritsar itself in a school. And then December the same year, my dad passed away. And
Oops.
the financial condition of the house was such that I had to look out for something more concrete. And my sister was married already in Bombay. She was working in a BPO at that point of time, and I think for a very long period of time, she was telling that look at this kind of a life as well, or job. But I didn't know much about it. But I think in when situation happened, I went ahead. That point of time, we had Dell International Services, which had an office in Mohali way back in 2006. So I gave an interview and all, and I got through. And that's how my corporate journey started. And then that was just Dell. But my actual what I do today started from ADP way back in 2007 when I got into payroll, even without knowing that I'm getting into payroll. And I realized after a very long time, after a decade, that this was a niche skill that not everybody has. You're fortunate if I have worked in ADP, learned payroll, and that's how I have been able to build my career. So yeah.
Well, so God has been kind, giving
Yes.
good opportunities, and then the corporate happened. Now, back then, I think I started my career in 2005, 2006 as well. How different was the work culture then, and women working in international companies, lesser the women, more the men. To today, we have some equal ratio. How
Yeah.
was that transition?
I think it has gradually picked up because I remember way back, if I look at it vaguely like that, I've always had a women leader around me. So my team leaders were somewhere women. So be it Dell, be it ADP, I have always, and even, when I moved from Hyderabad ADP to Pune ADP, I've always had women leaders around me who were managing the team. So the transition, it was not a shocker for me because I have also seen my sister working. I have seen my mother who's been a businesswoman throughout her life. So it was not a shocker for me that, more men, less of women. But I think gradually the world has started to accept that women can also be in much better or higher leadership positions, I would say that women can do it too. I would say the
Okay.
most shocker was for me, and it is still today, is in Toastmasters, the organization that I'm part of, that we have very less women leaders here as compared to what we would see in our workplace. And I
Okay.
really urge, and I keep telling my members, whenever I meet women leaders, that step up, you know, you need to come up into this leadership and
Mhm.
learn some leadership skills, take it back to your workplace, and you will actually see that how incredibly helpful this is going to be for you. So in my workplace I never had a problem though, but yes, in Toastmasters I would say we still need more women leaders.
So I'll give you a glance or maybe a situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we are all together at school. Okay, we have equal ratios. We go to colleges, we have still equal ratios. And then we join the corporate world. We still see equal ratios when, a lot of people get placed from colleges,
Mm,
girls and men join, boys and girls together. And then 5 years down the line, see men growing, and in 5 years, you see women leaving.
yes.
Okay. And
Yep.
then this 5 years gap, and
Mm,
then when you move further, so the managers become senior managers,
mm,
women think, decline, this ratio keeps shuffling, you go to
yep.
executive leadership, and in the boardroom you either have one or two women. So, what is your take on it? Because I've been in the boardrooms, I have either
Mm,
found myself with no companion, or with, in the last 10 years, maybe one or two helping in the room full of men. And that's where my topic of PhD came, that I need to find the challenges women diversity faces to reach executive leadership. So, do you think, have you seen the same?
I have. I have. And when you say that, when you join work, it's your workplace or anywhere. And even in my college, I'll tell you, the first year of my college, I still remember we were like almost, I think, 30, 40 classmates. A lot of girls were there, very few boys. It was majority. I don't know why, but there's a stigma that men should not be doing arts. It's only a girl's thing. And one thing which I noticed at that point of time was that the girls were just doing it in my conversations that I still remember. They were doing it because they knew that, this is something which was easier for them to do. They didn't have to put too much of efforts into it because by the time they reach the third year of the college or maybe the second year of the college, they're going to get married. And obviously, when you're going to get married, you will not be able, you'll have other responsibilities. So attending classes will be difficult. So they thought arts is something that they could easily do.
Okay.
This was one problem, and then I saw my male friends who actually went on to do different courses. Somebody wanted to learn French, somebody was already working, and they became lecturers and all. And then I came, if I look at it at my workplace as well, I used to see my women colleagues who started working. We used to have night shifts earlier, and then after 1 year, 2 years, they used to be like, "Oh, I'm going to get married, so I can't do night shift." And that's when you start seeing the difference, right? Like women, the men are growing. Why? Because the women this person is not going to perform. I don't want to be gender biased, but this is what it is, right? And women leaving. And then I still remember when I used to take interviews, when I was a team leader, I used to go with my manager, taking interviews. We used to specifically ask that question, are you married? Or so if you're not married, then when do you plan to get married? How soon? Because the thing was that at that point of time, when a resource joins a company, it takes at least 3 to 6 months to train. So for us it was
Investment.
like,
Yeah.
it's an
Investment.
investment, right?
True. True.
So now that we're investing in you for 6 months, and then you suddenly come back, and probably another 1 year down the line you come back and you say, I'm getting married, I can't continue working, then obviously I have to go out into the market, hire someone else. That's a risk to the business. But just because there were a few majority of the women who were doing this, and that's why they focus more on their personal life rather than professional life, or they thought that, okay, this is also important for me and that is also important for me, and that probably stems out from our own Indian culture, our own mentality, um, within our own families. But there were women also who, no matter what, they were married, they had a family, they were still there and they were growing. They were rising up the ladder. They were putting in that equal amount of hard work that a man would. And that is why probably I only saw these women growing and I remember them. rather than looking at the ones who left in between.
True.
And yes, for sure, I still remember there was only one manager or a senior manager among all the male managers in payroll at that point of time when I was in ADP. Just one female senior manager, and then I think she became a director or something. Now she's not there, but only one among the entire gamut of managers out there. And I think I was the only assistant manager at that point of time when I rejoined ADP as well. And um, yes, I was the only one among the entire gamut of my colleagues who were all males.
Wow, great.
Yeah,
So we resonate that
yeah,
yes, something like this is there. Yeah. Now,
yeah.
when you talk about women leaders and we talk
Mm-hmm.
about men leaders, and we are not talking about the biasness, and we are not
Yeah.
going there with the subconscious, unconscious bias we all are. What difference does women leader bring to table?
We bring a lot of emotional stability. I see that in myself as well. And I think women are more analytical. We can say things as they are,
Mm-hmm.
uh, which at times I have seen that male colleagues have a problem in saying, because it's like, this is wrong, please do it right, and we will support. So I think it's more of like, I don't want to use that word, but this is what's coming to my mind, that motherly nature, right? Like, you tell the child this is wrong, you have to do it right, but you also support him by showing him how it is supposed to be done,
Okay.
and then you
Mm-hmm.
let them learn and grow. So I this is something that I feel is the difference when it comes to women. But at the same time, there are other notions as well. I have seen highly emotional women leaders as well around me, and I always used to think it's very difficult to get through them, because the more, I'll be honest with you, the more comfortable I am till date to work with men, it's very difficult for me to break that ice with women leaders.
Okay.
Very difficult, because and now that I am also there in that position, and I have, when I was a district director or I'm a manager in the company, and when I'm talking to people who are not at the same level, who are maybe at at the beginning of their career, or who have lesser years of experience, I also feel now that I have to maintain a distance, and that distance is something that probably was perceived as, this person is not approachable.
Oh,
And
yes.
so today, when I look at it from that perspective, now that I am in that position, I used to think that, okay, maybe the leaders that I have looked up to or worked with, the women leaders, they had to maintain that, because in our culture, let's be honest about it, and I think it's across, women are considered as highly emotional beings. So, and if a woman will come and sternly say something, to an associate, a woman leader, it will be taken as, oh, you are either intimidating, or you are too micromanaging, or you just, in a more negative connotation, rather than just trying to understand that why is this being said and what I need to do right, vis-a-vis to a male manager. And I have personally faced this issue wherein I think I showed a lot of emotions at my workplace. So and you have also seen me through my Toastmasters journey when I was an area director. I was like right on the face, and it used to show. And I have received feedback for that people did not want to talk to me, or probably they were scared of talking to me, that she's stern or
Ask
she's
me.
strict and all,
Ask me about it.
right? I am still strict, but now I think I have learned that how do I need to handle the situation. Now I know that I have to step back if I'm like upset or something, and then take a break and then come back and talk. Now I have learned somewhere, and I'm still learning to, stay calm and not to react into that situation. These are the skills that I'm learning. But what really happens, whether it's a male or a female, nobody teaches you to be a leader. You learn, when you're going up the ladder, you're just seeing a position. Nobody's grooming you into that position and telling you how you need to behave when you get into this, right? Like, people are ready to jump in and say, oh, if you get married, you need to be like this kind of a daughter-in-law, this kind of a wife, this kind of a mother. We
But
have,
where
yeah,
true.
but if you are working, or if you're a businesswoman, what do you need to do, what are the skills, nobody's telling you. So we are all experimenting, we've all learned it the hard way. We are
True.
all experimenting, jumping and saying, okay, this is working, this is right, this is not working, this is not right. And that comes from how
Experiences.
people are
True.
perceiving you, what the feedback they're giving you.
Correct.
And not every time the feedback will work for you, but imagine the kind of mental stress we go through. And that's where we get demotivated, and then I'm like, you know, this is not for me, I don't want to do it. And probably most of the women just leave the position
Leave.
like that.
True, true. So the ecosystem, and I was just talking to one of my friend yesterday that in our education system, nobody taught us what is leadership. Nobody taught us how to work with your emotions. Nobody taught us what is financial management. Nobody taught us how life would be. We just learned our way, saying, "How would you run the show?" We
You
just thrown
remember,
it in.
sorry, but you remember the biology chapter when the girls and the boys were all separated out? A male will come and teach the boys about the male body, and a female teacher will come and talk about the female body. And like,
True. Yeah. So
the
we all grew up.
segregation, all boys on one side, all girls on one side. And if a girl is talking to a boy, oh my god, you look at the tags and the talks that used to happen.
True.
So
So, thank you for sharing that because that brings the actual insights of how we all grew and became leaders. But how would Sapna define leadership?
for me, it's a skill which over a period becomes an art.
Hmm.
How I look at myself today is it's a continuous learning journey for me. I'm still learning. I
Hmm.
have understood about what I am as a person. Like if I can say that I am straightforward, I know that how I will give you feedback or how I will help you out, I know this is my style now. So I am supportive when I'm supposed to be, I will be analytical when I'm supposed to be, I will be a driver when the situation requires, and I will sit and understand your situation as well when it requires, and I will probably vent out my frustration as well. So and for me, I'm still learning. There are a lot of mental blocks that I also have. I'm undergoing NLP right now, like through mentors of mine, wherein I'm trying to learn my own mental blocks. But for me, leadership is a constant. It's an everyday journey, be it at home or be it in personal life. Whenever something happens, I always reflect on it and I think, how could I have done it better? But then
Hmm.
I have seen myself taking different roles, different paths every time. So I am supportive. I am, when I have to say it, I say it as well, the way it is, whether you like it or you don't like it. But I also try and nurture or motivate people around to behave like leaders and not take things personal. One thing which I have learned, the biggest lesson of my life as a leader, is not to take things personally. It's all in the job.
Great.
Relationships are more important than anything else.
Very nicely said. You also said leadership is an art, and I would like to
Yes.
add in leadership is an art, but not everybody is an artist. First.
Not everybody is a cook like I'm not. So
True that. In the journey of learning, I'm blessed that I had wonderful leaders, but I also see some leaders where I learned what I don't want to be. So when we
true.
all grow, we always look up to people who we want to be. But there were some leaders in my
Yes.
life who taught me that this is not the leader I want to be, or this is not the experiences I would like to share. So we all had that. But then I would like to bring it across to you the John Maxwell's favorite quote that learning and leadership are indispensable. And that's how you just told about, it's a continuous learning process and we all learn. And once you become a leader, everybody asks me, why do you keep learning so much? So I made a quote of my own which says, the more you learn, the more you know how little you know, and then learning becomes easy. And then you know that, oh, I should know this, I should know this skill is
True.
something I need, or this is how I must have reacted. And you become so different as a person when you're a individual contributor to a person you have become now, and you handle the team and you handle people. You understand that everybody is
Yeah.
different and they are bringing their own experiences, they are bringing their learnings, they are bringing their individual selves to work, and there's so much behind the scenes as well. So great sharing that. Now, how would people say, how Sapna is as a leader? You know, with all the things you've heard, with all the way people have behaved, with your teams, with the people at Toastmasters, how would people define Sapna as a leader?
I think that will be a better answer for people to say. But I'll tell you something, okay? The biggest
Mhm.
lesson of leadership that I have learned is that I will not be able to make everybody happy.
Wow. Yeah. Steve Jobs.
And yeah,
You are not here to make everybody
yeah,
happy.
no, I'm not. I'm not. I believe that if I'm able to communicate the vision that I want people to understand, and if you're able to work together, whether you like me or you don't like me personally, it's perfectly fine with me. Any which ways, we are not going to go home together. We don't have to sleep in the same house, in the same bed. So I'm okay with it, right?
Mhm.
There will be times when even I will not like someone, but if my work requires for me to work with that person, it will be hard, but that's what learning is all about, right? Wherein you try and you come to common terms, something in the middle wherein you want to work with the person and get the best out of them.
Okay.
So, what people think about me, I've had different experiences with different people. With you, I have had various experiences over a period of time because you gave that time to me to understand, like I understand you. We've had our own shares of love and hate as well. And same, like if I'm behaving in a situation, like if I'm talking to you today, somebody might like, people who really love me, who've become my friends, they will really love everything I say. The ones who with whom I've had some conflict in the past because of work, or they wanted me to behave in a certain way and I refused to do that because this is what I am, they will say whatever she's saying is nonsense. So it's totally perception that people have, and I understand that perception. So what people talk about me, I'm okay with it, you know
Great. What would four people say is their problem and not mine? Thank
I
you.
also say.
So when a lot of people say, "What will people say?" If I said, if I start thinking, "What will they say?" Then what will I do? Let them
Exactly the
think.
point.
Let them speak. If I do it or not, any which ways they'll speak. So I'm okay with it. I have gotten terms with peace, making peace with them by not listening or listening and taking what I need. God has given us 2 years. Listen, filter, pass. So yeah, great, good to know that. Now, women join workplace, they leave.
Yeah.
Some continue to work, and some reach to a goal. Not everybody has a dream or aspiration to become something. Some people enjoy what they do. Contributions at home at times are great because office could run without them, but at some situations, house could not, right? So wherein I see when we compare the ratio in India to other countries, the support system which we talk about, right? Here there are so many work which are only to be done by women, or there are so many things which only women can handle, or the way you said, in any interview you go, if you're with a certain age, the question which is asked is, are you married or are you planning to marry? And if you're married, the next question is, are you planning a family? Such questions are not asked to men,
True.
even though whatever age they are. So when we talk about women and if they get married, they're supposed to go to the place where the men is working,
Yeah.
leaving whatever they had been, right? And when there is a family which is growing, it is you who has to put down and take care of the family. When there are examinations, it is the women who go through churning and the homework and the projects and PTM and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you think a support system in the growth of women is very important, which plays a vital role in her career and what she becomes?
It is. And if you don't have a support system, then create one. I'll give you a very simple example, and this is a everyday thing that happens. It's me and my mom who stay together. I work, obviously, and she's a homemaker. She's getting old. She's 72, and she's always been involved in the house, from everything, cooking, cleaning, and all of that stuff. And I am someone who's never done it. I have, as children, when we were young, we were never told to do household chores or something. And today that I'm growing up and now she sees me around her more because I was out for majority of the time, she wants me to, she'll be like, why don't you just clean this? You don't help me out. Like doing the dusting of the house, very simple things. And then I tell her, I said, see, if I'm earning money, I can get you the best of the maid. Can you please get the work done from her?
True.
So I am creating my own support system. Why? Because first, I don't want to do it, and second is I don't have the bandwidth to do it. And I'm not saying at the same time that I want to live in a dirty house. I'm trying to say is that I'm creating a support system wherein she feels happy. I know that my work is also getting done and somebody else is getting employed as well. So if, and it is a fact, it's a reality, a lot of people who stay in urban areas and bigger cities, obviously they don't have families near them, and I have seen women struggling with a child at home, a very young child who's like 6 months, 9 months, so they have to take a prolonged leave, and when they come back they don't even know what kind of project or what, where they will be. And that's where the moment a woman becomes pregnant at a workplace, no matter how much the workplaces would come and say, oh, we support you and we do this and we do that, the managers or the operations is always in a worry who's going to replace when the person
Six
is going to
months.
come back. Imagine,
6 months,
right?
yeah, true.
Vis-a-vis to the same thing that you said, if a man goes on a paternity leave, nobody questions. If they're out beyond that 5 days of legal paternity leave, which is approved, even if they go for 1 month, 2 months, and 3 months, nobody is questioning them, nobody's replacing them. But with women, it is happening today. So I would just say that whether, see, no matter how much we talk about that it's an equal opportunity, men should get involved. Let's be honest about it. Our men haven't been raised by the women of their own homes to do household chores. You have barely 5% or 10%, or maybe even that number is not right, wherein men actually know what to do or they will support the women. I don't know what I was reading or what I was watching, and they said that a man will only respect a woman when he has seen his own father respecting his own mother. And that's where it starts. If a mother has taught the boys to take care, to do all the household chores, learn how to clean utensils, learn how to cook, wash clothes, the man will automatically do it. It is not a charity or an additional thing. He will know that I have to do it because you're used to it. Most of our men are not used to it. And the problem vis-a-vis opposite to that is that our women are taught only to do this.
Yeah.
So when you are there, and if you decide, see, I'm not saying everybody will
Yes,
have
yes.
their own priority, right? For
Correct.
me, probably today my work is a priority. Tomorrow, if I get married, my work will still remain a priority, but my husband will be there. And maybe I don't want to have kids, that will be different as well. So if you don't have a support system, then create one, is all that I would say. No matter what happens, people might like, people might not like, or what you're doing, you know what works best for you. And I think this is where women need to stand up. I am earning my own money. I will pay the maid from my own money. I'm not asking. She's there to help. So
So, yeah.
create one.
So when we talk about, no, you very well said that today we ask for equality, but when
Yeah.
we're growing up, were we taught equality at home? When there was a sibling or a cousin who was a male and a woman sitting together, it is the girl child who was asked
Yeah.
to go and do this, and if
Yes.
it is helping their mothers, it is the girl, and the
Yeah.
boy could choose. So it starts at one very early stage. Very well said. Now, when we talk about maternity leaves and how it goes through, a girl becomes a mature lady who joins the corporate, and then she transitions to a daughter-in-law, and then at work, and then comes a family. So she's going through a lot of change and transformations, and which is not acknowledged, which is not appreciated, which is
Yeah.
not valued. So that actually brings the women to get into those guilt journeys more than men. So you are expected to do this, you didn't do it, guilt. You were supposed to cook on time, didn't cook, guilt. You were supposed to take care of children, you didn't. When you take care of children, so for example, if you are a working professional and you chose to be a mother and left the professional world, oh, so you're a great mother, but you couldn't continue your professional career, wherein you continue your professional career and did not
Yeah.
be with the children when they were growing. Oh, she was so busy being at work, she didn't take care of the children. So those social norms and the way you've been treated, nobody values the transformation and the change she goes through. And
Nobody
that's
does, because your own women in the house have not taught you, because they haven't been taught the same thing. That's the problem. It all, see, everything starts with home. Everything does. I don't expect myself to learn all of this at school. neither at my workplace. Everything starts at home. If my
Mhm.
mother behaves today like this somewhere, is because she has seen her mother telling her the same things and she used to do it. While I refuse to do it, why? Because I was given all the freedom in my childhood to be the way I am.
True.
So for me, it's a to be. I mean, I understand the problem, but I will never be able to actually feel it because I have never done it. I am someone who will simply refuse it. I am not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And we've had, like, me and my mother have had fights on this. And she's like, "What if I die? What will you do tomorrow?" I said, "Nothing. I'll get a maid to do the household chores." See, I mean, nothing stops, right? Let's get practical on this.
The
If
world
I
needs
was,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I tell her, I said, if I was a boy, would you have asked me to do it? And then she doesn't have an answer. And then she's like, "You talk too much." And I'm like, it's not about talking. It's about a very relevant question that I'm asking you.
True.
Look at your, like, you were two sisters and you have a brother. Did your mother even teach anything to your brother the way she
Hmm.
probably taught you guys? And then she keeps quiet and she's like, and she doesn't want to talk then. That's how it is. But because the problem, women can't even talk about a transition, how they are feeling, is because they have not seen their mothers doing it with them. That hidden thing, everything should be within. And I don't know why you want to sacrifice so much for what when you're not happy. Our
Hmm.
culture has been such, and it will take a hell lot of a amount to change the mentality of the women. And today, when women are more out, they are more progressed, they are more learned, and they are, refusing and putting their step down and saying, "I am not going to accept this." They are being shamed by the society itself, and most of the time it is women shaming another women.
Okay. So we need to transform to women empowering more women.
Yes.
And I think that transformation and journey would help us to reach where we're talking today.
That sister code or that behan code, that
Bro code.
series,
Like
that,
bro code, you
yeah,
need to
that
have a sister code.
call me bae, when she talks about that sister code, right? That has to truly come. And it's not about always gossiping about your in-laws, but it's about how can I help. See, it's a two-way street.
True.
Your mother-in-law or your mother will be like that. You are here, can you start talking? And I'm not saying that they will understand. It will take a gradual period of time, and even if they don't, it's okay. You take your ground and say, "This is what it's going to be."
True. Great. Good conversation, Sapna. Now, the 18-year-old Sapna, if Sapna gets to talk to her, what changes would Sapna like to talk to her? And how would Sapna want to restart if she gets an opportunity?
An 18-year-old Sapna, I think I would want to tell her today that when things were happening to you, which were not good, which you carried for a very long period of time in your heart, I want you to speak up. I want you to go out and tell the world that, this person did this to me. I've been through child abuse. So, and I hid it from my family for like the longest period of time, for over a decade, when I opened up to my mom, because I thought that, they will not trust me if I tell them this has happened. So I think I would really want her to be more stronger and open up and talk about things that this has gone wrong, or this is something that I like or I don't like, and focus more on her career and not, you know, just living the life the way I was, but focus more on what I want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay. What is your advice to the peers or people who are working or thinking to restart? There's a very nice movie, The 12th Fail, where they talked about
Hmm.
restart. So if they took a break and they are thinking to restart, or if they're still thinking, can I make my mark in the corporate world? Or if they're thinking, I have nothing more to do at work, at home, everything is settled. Shall I go back to corporate journey? So, what would be a message or advice to such women?
Definitely do that. I'll tell you one thing. Today, obviously, your kids are young. You want to spend all the time with them, which is your right. You should do it. Tomorrow, when your kids are going to grow up, they're not going to look back at you. And don't even expect them to.
Mm-hmm.
Treat your child as an individual. You have definitely, you've given birth, you obviously have all those emotional connects and all with them, but he or she is a human being who's born into this world, and they have their own storyline, and they would want to make a mark. So If today they see you sacrificing your life because of them, tomorrow they probably either will do the same and you will like it because they will be around. But what if they are not happy? And what if they see you as a successful mother or even as a working mother? They might be better individuals who will understand that if they have a working wife or a husband, how they need to behave with each other. So I think if you want to restart, any woman who wants to restart, it's not only about corporate. I'm an entrepreneur as well. I do a lot of other stuff, right? See what is it that works best for you and
Okay.
create that support system around you that wherein you're able to manage. I wouldn't say there is a balance in life. I would just say that some things at every day your priority will change. So what is your priority? Go by that on a daily basis and be very clear in your communication with everybody. Don't expect people to understand because nobody does. It's like, till the time I don't get into your shoes, I will not understand the pain that you go through. But trust me, I don't want to get into your shoes because it stings. I'll have my own share of experiences, and why would I say it? Because you are married, I'm not. You have a child, I don't. So even if
Every
I say I understand, I empathize, I don't.
true, true
And I
that.
will never be able to,
True.
right?
Yeah.
So you have to manage a lot of things around. And that's why I say be open in communication, talk about it. And don't worry, even if your manager says that, oh, you're always taking a leave or whatsoever it is, it's okay. Whenever I'm there, I'm giving my more than 100% or my 100%, and I'm doing the work that I'm supposed to be doing. Ask for help. Nobody's asking you to be a superwoman. Please ask for help,
Okay.
but be there.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. That we need to speak up, we need to
Yeah.
be vocal, and we need to ensure that we create that little space and share that. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. What? How important is emotional well-being, Sapna, in leadership and being the women you are juggling? And also, please share your limelight and words of wisdom on the most spoken word work-life balance.
You read that post, right? There is nothing called a work-life balance. It is just a Western term that's come. See, I would say you create everything. Okay. So when first is emotional well-being, we are all emotional beings. We don't know how to control emotions. Even if we say, there will be a lot of times when you will just be down and about and you'll be like, I don't feel like working today. Something has happened and you just you just don't feel up to it. And it's okay. For me, this is one thing which I always tell my team members, be it, whether it's women or it's men, is that there will be days when you will not feel like working and it's perfectly fine. You just need to come back and tell me, and I will see if I can help you out or I can't help you out. But it's important that we let that happen and we understand that fact that this is, today maybe that thing is not there. I'm not there up to it. And if it's a constant thing, then definitely you need to take professional help. But
Hmm.
when that happens, please talk about it and ensure that you take a break. I always try to take a break almost every quarter. One thing, obviously, I don't want my leaves to get lapsed. That's something that I have made it a point. No matter what happens, I don't want my leaves to lapse. So I will take a break because when I take that break, I do anything that I want to, be it just lazing around the house, but I will not touch my work laptop at all. I literally don't care if the world comes crashing down. Because if a work stops because of me, that means I'm not a good leader because I have not delegated or I have not ensured that people are able to work when I'm
Hmm.
not there. So for me, that emotional well-being is of utmost importance. And I always say, and I do that to myself, when I'm not up for it, I will take a leave.
Okay.
Take a leave, just, take a
Unplugged to
break
be
as
back.
well, just go out.
Yeah. So
You
it's
should.
I've learned the lesson hard way, Sapna.
Yeah.
So in the last 6 years, I must have donated every year 20, 30 leaves. And then, Swapnil
Um,
ensured that I start taking my leaves.
yes.
And then replugging, unplugging is some experiences which I started doing with boys. And, spending time with them. the only thing they say, as you said, right? So they're like, Mama, you take leave, do whatever, but if you can just live without your laptop for those days, we would see that you have sustained. And
Yeah.
that art of delegation is something very important. We have to trust and create more leaders. So thanks for touching that point, that a lot of people, the most important quality of a leader is to create more leaders. And if you do not have a support system, if you do not trust your team, if you not raise them a bar higher, and if a program or a project doesn't sustain without you, there is a huge challenge. So great, good points talked about. And for emotional well-being, I just want to tell the world that it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to take breaks. It's
Yeah.
okay to have commas and full stops. It's okay to not please the world. It's okay. As Steve Jobs says, right, if you want to make everybody happy, start selling candies or ice creams. And if you're not doing that, then you're not making the world happy, and that's not your problem.
It's
And
not, imagine what if you die, the work is still going to happen without you. Then why are you
true.
sacrificing your today for something which, which you don't even know? You're sacrificing your everything, your family life, your time with friends, everything. Over a weekend, I don't look at my laptop. My weekends are Saturdays are Toastmasters. I'll go out, I'll have fun, I'll come back home. Sundays, I
Mhm.
go meet my dogs, I come back home, and that's my time. I don't care that, who, and I talk to my friends over the phone. I spend that time with them, no matter like, and it's amazingly beautiful for my mental health as well, because first I'm checking on everyone, and I know if my friends are alive, they know that I'm alive. We are not dead yet, but at the same time, we have lost communication with each other so much because of the technological advancements these days, that we've stopped talking to people. And I really love calling my friends up, talking to them, and that's my way of rejuvenating, or having fun, because I think there are things that I can talk to my friends, they can tell me what to do, what not to do, and that really helps me in my emotional well-being as well.
So in all my introductions, I always say that my network is my net worth,
Yep.
because my network has made me what I am today, and I can't thank the beautiful mentors and people who came in the right time. So just to crack a joke, whenever in in team meetings and even in the sessions or lectures I take, or speaking to anybody, humor has become such an integrated part of me now that until I crack a joke, I feel my message is not done, because people have started taking life so serious, work
Yeah.
so serious, that they've forgotten to breathe and laugh and enjoy it as well. So for that, I always give you credit, Sapna, because I remember my first conversations where I was doing contest, and I was always the motivational, inspirational leader. And I entered to a contest, and you say, you know what, you're going the first. I was like, where? And you were like, in the humorous contest. I said, I am not prepared. And you were like, no, just give it a try. And that very moment, trust me, if I had some weapons, I must have really used them to the best use. They're like, I don't know humor, I have never tried. And that day, when I won the contest, I didn't know how to thank you. I didn't know. And I was just talking, and I realized that everybody was rolling around and people were having so much of fun. And I realized that I had this aspect until you saw it. So we really need good mentors and good friends, where because they see what we don't see, because we get
Yeah.
so occupied in that life cycle and the little too much of everything which we think and overburden, that we forget that we have some aspects too.
Yeah.
So until you realize and take that time out or trust those mentors.
Yeah.
So I trusted. And then the last contest where I won, and the many contests which I won in humor, I can't, but then I always take time and express that gratitude to you, that you open. And ever since then, I don't say no. So from being the when we started, you just said about my journey, right? So I trusted the mentors. So today, if an executive assistant, or when starting with McDonald's waitress, if today I am working with cloud and platform and learning, and working with Azure and DevOps and what not, when it comes to technology,
Yeah.
handling a team, working with clients, I don't know when such mentors came and they trusted me, and I trusted
Yep.
them back.
Yep.
And that's the ecosystem we would love to see.
True.
So one of my first managers in McDonald's, he just came to me and said, you should leave McDonald's. And I was like, huh? What did I do? And he's like, no, no, you're born for some bigger challenges. Take some.
True. Very
And
true.
then in the last organization, when I wanted to do my MBA and take back, thanks to Toastmasters who taught it, there was a leader who I just went in and said, I have just joined the organization and what should I do? And he's like, you should do MBA. Why I'm not thinking? I said, I'm a working mother and I'm a single mother. I have two boys and all the excuses in life. And he's like, are you done? I said, yeah, you should still do an MBA. And I was like, okay, but then I'm working. How will I get breaks? He said, I'll give you leaves. Go. And the month I enrolled, next month were my exams, and he really gave me those 10 days of leaves, which nobody does. And I can't
My God.
thank those mentors. So then MBA
Yes.
happened, then MA happened, and then PhD is happening, and all the mentors and the leaders of the world came across helping. They never said that, no, we'll not give you leave. Or that's where you started that ask. And even in
Yes.
the Bible, it is written that, ask if you need.
Ask it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you ask, why do we think that, I'm shying to ask? Today for this opportunity also, I just reached out to you, right? I asked, and you
True.
did say yes. What if you must have said a no? It's okay. I must have insisted, requested, pleaded, begged, did whatever, but asked, right? The first initial.
Correct.
So I think we all have to scale up as well when we request the society to scale up, the organizations to create policies. When are we gonna scale up as well?
True. Very true. Completely agree.
True. So, with that heavy things, let's get into a quick rapid fire. You
Okay.
okay?
Yes.
Okay. The first thing you get into your mind, okay? You won't have such much
Yeah,
time
yeah.
to think. Like, okay, when Sapna is not working, what is Sapna busy doing?
Sleeping, trying to think to sleep in the bed for long. Like literally wrong, which I'm never able to do. But yes.
Okay. The best book Sapna would always read.
Kite runners. The kite
Okay.
runners. Sorry, not runners. Kite runner. Yeah.
Okay. The leadership idol she grew up watching.
Nobody.
Okay. The one family friend who has always been there no matter what.
Oh my God. Sumit comes first to my name, but there'll be so many, but I'll say Sumit for now.
Okay. If in kitchen, what goes in your head?
I'm hungry. Okay.
Okay, shopping online or going out?
Both.
Okay.
Mm.
Technology or a break?
Break.
Okay. Weekends, learning something, teaching something, or just not doing anything?
Both.
Okay. Friends or family?
Friends.
Mountains or oceans?
Mountains.
Okay. Reading a book or watching a movie?
Watching a movie these days. I'm watching a lot of
Mhm.
Punjabi movies. Huh? I'm trying to learn my own language, imagine, with subtitles.
Okay. The women who made you what you're today?
My mother.
Okay. A leader who you always looked up while you were working and growing.
There are many actually who've made a mark. Three people come to my mind, and I'll let you know. One is Rohit. He was in ADP. The other one is Vivek. Again, he was my boss at ADP. Then I have Pavas, who's
Okay.
in Toastmasters. Yes.
Okay. Social media.
I wish I was an influencer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Toastmasters.
Passion, dude. Can someone get me a job in Toastmasters, please?
I will join too.
I
Okay. Any message to the coming generations and women leaders? A key message. It could be as brief as you want.
just ask.
Okay.
That's it. Just ask and see what happens.
Okay. So that was an hour. I didn't realize when it went and where it did, but
Yeah.
it was wonderful catching up with all the conversations and having a neutral aspect on thinking on how wonderful life has been. 18 years of career, career summarized in an hour, learning and lives of at least 33 plus decades, and wonderfully nailing it to wherever you are, Sapna. Now I know the pink cherry apple is coming from Kashmir, and that's how she brings that shine. And know the women who shaped you, to how strong you are, and what not. You always said, bring it on. And with that, women in the leadership today, salute to your spirits. I saw you growing, with your hair growing to the person you have grown, to the, to the leader you have become, and to the person you have transformed to. Salute, standing ovation to the hats of journey you had. And thank you for being so transparent and sharing it out with all. I know, as you said, some would like it, some won't. But for me, if at least two women get inspired and see something out of it, our work is done. The two in the room, if we can transform two, we are doing good enough in the world. So thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Passion Talks with Kanchan Sonik has been blessed with your presence and the
Thank
entire
you.
session. Looking forward to trouble you more, and to all the audiences. We will bring you more leaders in the entire series, which is Women in Leadership Season 2. So Passion Talks signing off today. Thank you, Sapna Ohri, for being the
Thank you.
best we could get today. Thank you for your time, and wishing you
Thank you
all the
so
very
much.
best for a fabulous journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you
Good
so
evening.
much, Kanchan.
Bye
Thank
all.
you.
Bye all. Bye.